2025 DR-Z4S and 2002 broken down DR-Z400S that I've had since 2006. So I get a lot of questions about various things on the DR-Z4S. So this is going to be part one of a multi-part series of Q&A. So foot pegs. Common question that people wonder is, will foot pegs from the old DR-Z400 fit on the new DR-Z4S or SM? The answer is no. On the DR-Z4S and SM, we have two little tangs that are welded to the frame. One of them is right there. The other one is right there. It's kind of hard to see with my lighting here. Let's get a little work light up above. There we can see them just a little bit better. So the foot peg is right here. The bracket is outside. And the other portion of the foot peg is right here, and then the frame bracket. You can see where the foot peg is, where I am moving it up and down. So another view, let's look at the bottom. And then again, you can see the bracket that's welded to the frame on the outside of the foot peg, front and rear. On the DR-Z400 2024 model back to 2000, we have a giant tab that's welded to the frame, and then the foot peg goes around that tab. So nope, pegs between the new and the old are not interchangeable. Sad to say. These are a pair of IMS Pro Series foot pegs that I've had on my DR-Z400 for about 3 or 4 years now. Prior to these, I had IMS Super Stock pegs. I did contact IMS before I physically looked at the bike to see how different they were. So that was 3 or 4 days ago, and they said no, the foot pegs are not interchangeable. They didn't indicate why, and I had not actually looked at the bikes yet and compared them. I just assumed that the bracket was the same, and my assumption was that maybe the foot peg was mounted a little bit higher or lower, and that's why they weren't interchangeable. IMS said that they'll have new foot pegs out for the 4S and SM sometime next year. Next, let's talk handguards. So these are the Cycra Ultra Pro Bend CRM. CRM stands for Center Reach Mount, which means they mount in the center of the bars. So let's just take a quick overview of the front. So we have 3 different mounting locations. We have, basically it's a great big elongated hole with 3 different countersunk areas. So there's 3 different locations where you can put this bolt. And then the bar mount is the same. There's an inner hole, there's a middle hole, and then there's an outer hole. I have the screw threaded through the middle hole on the bar, and then on the mount I have it threaded through the outer hole. So there's a lot of adjustability depending on the width of your bars and where everything is oriented. So a common issue that people are having on some handguards is that the handguard is interfering with this brake line right here, or it's hitting the master cylinder. So I have a whole lot of clearance. I can get my entire hand all the way up inside. There's probably a good ½ inch between, see, I can get my knuckle right up in there, a good ½ inch between or more between the back side of the bar and the master cylinder, and there's even more space between the brake line and the bar. We got lots of room for cables, and this is exactly why I like these, is because they kind of arc up across and then down, so you've got a lot of room for cable arrangement here. These little wind guards are removable. You can actually get this big white piece, you can get that in various colors, and Cycra sells them in different colors as a whole kit, and then you can get the inserts in different colors as well. So this is essentially just a little wind guard. You can pull that out with, oh, I think there must be just one screw, and there's little tabs that hold it in place at the other end. There might be a screw on the inside too. I don't No, I can feel the little tab. So hot weather riding, you can pull those out and leave them out if you want to. I like a little bit of extra wind protection because sometimes my riding is in cooler weather, like in the mornings or whatnot. And these can actually, of course, be replaced. You've got two screws that hold this entire white piece, the wind deflector, in place. Same thing with the guard here on the side. This can be replaced. Backside of the screw here that holds the little black wind deflector in place, there's a little nut plate. It's a square nut that recesses into a little keeper molded into the plastic there. And same thing down on the bottom. I've been running Cycra handguards on my 2002 DRZ since I bought it back in 2006. And I've been very happy with them, although I don't have the center reach mount. I have a different style. I think the center reach mount came out long after I bought the handguards for my old DRZ, but I do actually like these a lot better. Here's looking at where they mount on the bars. So there's probably about 1/4 of an inch between the handlebar clamp mount and the actual handguard mount. And over here on the other side, it's maybe just a little bit less, probably closer to about 3/16 of an inch. The only thing that I didn't like about them is once I installed them, I had to take my Suzuki accessory 12-volt power port and flip the bracket so that it was mounted up over here instead of over there. But as you can see, I ended up completely removing that. I installed this Tusk accessory dash panel. Reason I went this route was I wanted direct USB plus a voltmeter, and then I also wanted a place where I could mount a switch for my grip heaters, and I've not yet installed the grip heaters. That's a someday project. So let's take a quick look down at the top. So over on this side, I also have my screw mounted to the outer hole, and then same thing, I have it mounted to the middle hole. And yeah, it is mounted to the middle hole over here. I'll have an Amazon affiliate link down in the description below for these handguards and these mirrors. I've been running a couple of different styles of double take mirrors. I started out with the little round ones, and in some of my videos you might see me running this one over here and the round one over there. I was doing a lot of back-to-back comparison, seeing which one I liked better. Ultimately, I ended up deciding I'm going to run these. I do like these just a little bit better. Another common question people ask is, should I drill out the bars to mount my handguards? So let me jump off the bike here and we'll talk about this a little bit more. As you can see, this is the stock hardware that I used that came with the handguards. Suzuki has great big bar end weights with a huge Allen head style bolt. It's pretty large diameter. That bolt is large enough on diameter where if you wanted to reuse that bolt, you would end up having to drill out the hole in whatever style aluminum handguards you went with. I equate drilling out that hole to taking a coin, like say, for example, a penny, lay a dime over the top of it, and then drill out the penny to the size of the dime. You end up with not a whole lot of meat left around the outer perimeter of the hole. A penny and a dime is a complete exaggeration. You end up with a little bit more material left. But then you have at least a good 1/4 inch of that bolt head sticking out, and it might look kind of goofy to some people. To me, it would end up tearing up the wall of my cargo trailer, because the bike in a cargo trailer does tend to rock back and forth no matter how tight we have it tied down. So this, I don't mind if this rubs up against the wall because it's not going to dig a big hole, but having that stock bar end bolt on the outer edge of my aluminum handguard, it would totally dig a hole in the wall. So I did actually drill out the bars. I was a really early adopter, installed the bar or installed the handguards not long after I got the bike. And I took the advice of somebody else that had done the same thing, and I ordered a 14mm drill bit. I think I started out with a smaller drill bit at first and kind of gradually stepped up to a 14. I was using a pretty high torque DeWalt 20-volt power drill, and once that drill bit grabs in the aluminum in the bar, it will stall, but it has so much torque, the drill will twist. And 2 or 3 times it twisted my wrist pretty bad, where it easily could have broke my wrist. So I think it was about a week after that I drilled out the bars and installed these handguards. Somebody had done a lot of research and found some little shift knob adapters on Amazon. They're brass, so granted they're a little bit softer metal, but he has had really good results with those. So I'll have an Amazon affiliate link down in the description below for those as well. And they come in either a 2 or a 3 pack. There's several different sizes. So just pick the one that you need for whatever bolt your handguards come with, and then use that adapter. But you'll need to order 2 kits, because each kit only includes one of each size. So you need 2, one for each side, 2 kits. So yeah, I think that about wraps it up for the handguard portion. So let me show you real quick what I've got going on my old DRZ and why I don't like the handguards on it. If I ever had to switch handguards on the old DRZ, I would go this route too. And I use that same style on my T7. And my T7 was the first time I had used these, and I actually really liked them on the T7. And you can see I'm running the same thing over here on my Ibex 450. So the handguards on my old DRZ, these are the original style Cycra Pro Bend. They're pretty tattered and worn. But they mount just a little bit lower, and then you've got this multi-point mounting system. It's a little aluminum bar that your bolt threads into. The bar is actually slotted, so you have some lateral movement, but not very much. And then there's a 2-piece clamp. I'll show you that from the other side, but you can kind of see it right there. And then of course this can pivot. And they're actually kind of a little bit of a challenge to get mounted. That's why I really prefer the new style, Ultra CRM style Pro Bends. This clamp right here will actually dig into my aftermarket IMS tank. You can see 19 years of riding. Anytime I've dumped the bike really hard, that's probably what has caused that. I don't really have any clearance issues on the other side. It's just this side where I have interference. And so this is the style of mirror that I was running on my DRZ-4S on one side. You can see that it's the little round guy. It actually has the same length arm. I'll have an Amazon affiliate link down in the description below for this style double take mirror as well. Everybody's got their own personal preference on what kind of mirror they like. So I think for episode 1 of Q&A on the DRZ-4S, that probably just about wraps it up. As people ask more questions down in the comments below, I'll assemble some more Q&A videos. A lot of times it's easier just to make a video with answering questions, because a lot of people don't see all the different videos where maybe I have covered something already, but if somebody asks a question, I could just quickly refer them to, hey, watch this video, it's got the answers.